Here's the deal. They took a test, and then they said they rejected those results. Now, there are people that speculated they failed it. But why, if they were innocent, why wouldn't they go to the feds, the Boulder PD, the Denver PD, just walk in and say, I'm going on the box?
Well, I guess they got bad advice,
I
but
guess
I
they
don't
did.
believe they were
You
ever
can
involved
Joy,
in that.
you can certainly believe whatever you wish.
And you believe they are, but, I mean, you are so stubborn and not listening to other things.
Well, I just asked you what you knew about the testing, and you said you didn't know.
I didn't know what?
You didn't know that they had been offered.
Yes, I knew that.
You knew that? Well, why would they say no to the FBI?
But because their lawyers advised them.
So why would they say no? I mean, you either pass them or you don't.
I know. Well, then when they did take them, they passed them.
But they paid for them, and it was years later. Don't you understand? Well, never mind. Listen, I appreciate your call. 303-713-8255 is our phone number. So good morning. Let us go back to some of these things after this. 303-713-8255 is our phone number. When I wrote my worksheet down last night about 11 o'clock, and I drug out all of the notes we had for years and years and years, and like I said, thank God I didn't throw them out the door. But I wrote down the big letters no. There's too many holes in this. And there's too many questions unanswered. And like I said, the linchpin in this is Michael Tracy. And that's really significant to me. Now, I can get down a list of people that were blamed by the family in the past. They blamed Linda Hoffman Pugh. They blamed Chris Wolf. They blamed Gary Oliva. They blamed Fleet White. They blamed this fellow that killed himself, Helgruff. They blamed a lot of people for this. They blamed Santa Claus McReynolds. Remember, Hold Your Babies Close. This is a family that would not talk to the cops but goes on CNN. Now, come on. There's too many questions here. Too much here. So we have a lot of conflicting theories. I don't know who this guy is, but he has family members that say he wasn't there. Hang on. It's KHAL Radio. Up to the minute traffic. Here's Susan.
An impressive task they've accomplished in getting this far.
It's 6:38, 22 minutes before the hour 7, 6:30 KHOW, Denver's talk station, on an amazing morning again in the Ramsey case. 303-713-8255 is our phone number, and my answer is no. Peter Boyles, I'm a Denver native and caught your act, unfortunately, for way too long. I find you to be intellectually lacking, and generally your critical thinking is very weak. Now we have an arrest in the Ramsey case, and again, you're wrong. What happened, Peter? You have so many close contacts in this case who assured you the parents did the murder. You hounded those parents. You should be ashamed of yourself. Here's another one. So, after the arrest is made in the Ramsey case, will you finally publicly apologize for your relentless accusations in their terrible period of grief? So, Pete, I don't live in Denver, but I remember how you tortured those poor Ramseys. There's a warm place in hell reserved just for you. Well, Peter, say what you now. You are so cocksure that either John or Patsy killed John Bonet, but it looks like they didn't, and your radio conviction is totally in error. Pete, looks like Patsy is smiling down on you right now. Please remove yourself from the public eye. You know why. How do you feel about John and Patsy? You are a piece of dog now. Will you apologize, you scumbag? Yo, Peter, you jumped all over the John Bonet case and attempted to leverage yourself into national prominence. What do you say now, you fill-in-the-blank Geraldo wannabe? If the arrest today pans out, will you be man enough to admit you were wrong? You, Geraldo, Bill Owens, and others, you are nothing but CSers. Signed, Bob Allen in Denver. There's another one. Those are nice ones. With the news in the Ramsey case, I was reminded of a thought I had when the event happened in the book Windswept House by Malachi Martin. Satanic rituals involved. Nah. I've never heard a bigger jerk than Peter Boyles. If I were John Ramsey, I'd sue his ass. Hey, Pete, how does it feel to know you helped put Patsy Ramsey in an early grave? Keep going here. Boy, do you have egg on your face. With all these years of the whatever it is about the Ramseys, you're a mega fool. You'll never live this one down. I know this is the worst news you could get. When they actually found her killer, you're never going to hear the end of this one. As I remember, you had the Ramseys guilty a few days after John Bonet was found, although you have no specific information. I remember you saying they would be arrested before New Year's. No, I didn't say that. Carol McKinley, now on Fox News, made her career with the same speculation. Hope you can apologize. You're a piece of stuff. Pete, I lived through the Ramsey investigation, followed the agonizing developments. Today's news is stunning. I'm convinced, as you were, that the Ramseys were involved. I've fallen, by the way, in terms of fallen away being a listener due to work. How did you get such a wrong impression? Now that you heard the news of the arrest of John Bonet's murderer, can you admit you were wrong? You were ruthless. I'm not writing not to tell you how wrong you are, but this person in Thailand is guilty of the murder of Jean Bonet. Will you apologize? G. Peter, guess the Ramseys and the Boulder police need a huge apology from you and your narrow-sighted opinions. Now that the arrest has been made in a murder case, will you say to the family you've tormented them for 10 years? I've listened to your show and know you blame Patsy Ramsey. I hope you chew up your words real good. You were wrong. Are you sorry just a little? The great Peter Boyles is wrong. Whose DNA was that? Well, we're finding out now. You are wrong. God bless Patsy Ramsey. A couple more. I forget that you continue to believe the Ramseys had something to do with. After seeing 2-hour Dateline documentary a few years back, I came to the conclusion there's no way in heck the parents had anything to do with this. You suck. And it just continues. Well, let's begin this again. 303-713-8255. On a cell phone call, this is Mike. Mike, you're on the show. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you today?
I'm good, man. Thanks.
Very interesting show so far.
Thank you.
Very interesting topic. Been listening to you for half my life. When this whole John Bonet thing started, those parents gave everybody the indication, and I still think that they're guilty. I don't think this other guy had anything to do with it. I'm sorry, I've never been on the radio before.
That's all right. Take your time. It's a phone call.
I guess my whole point is I have a daughter, and if my daughter was found in my home dead, and the first time anybody even thought that it was me, I would have done everything possible.
Of course.
To prove my innocence.
They had their lawyer the next morning.
Yeah, exactly. And I listened to the whole thing with you, and again, I've listened to you for forever.
Thanks.
And until this guy's proven guilty and really guilty, then I'm going to still think that it's them because that's the only thing that we have.
Well, let me go. I mean, like I said, I lugged all this stuff in from years gone by. Her body was found behind a door that was stuck shut in the family's basement. A lot of people never knew a room was there. The police first searched the house, and according to what we understand, one of the officers, Rick French, actually looked in that room, didn't see her, because it's so dark in there. John finds her on a later search, and her arms are flung back over her head. Cord was tied loosely around one of the wrists, and there was no indication it was ever tied to the other wrist. She was 6 years of age. It was revealed that she had been strangled and that the cord had been found around her neck. But what they found out the next day in autopsy, she'd been struck, what the weapon, I believe, it was a flashlight, a multi-celled flashlight. But it was learned that the cord found around her wrist matched the cord around her neck. No abrasions were found on her wrist when the cord was found, suggesting to the investigators there was no struggle, and that John Bonet probably was already dead when the cord was placed there. This is, I think, part of staging. Her father went looking for her about 8 hours after that. She was behind the stuck door. John Ramsey picks the body up, removes the duct tape that was covered her mouth, and carries her upstairs. And as we know, puts her down underneath the Christmas. Actually, turns her over to the police, and then Linda Arndt, that cop, moves her. They put her under the tree. She had been sexually assaulted, but with a digit, in other words, a finger or that paintbrush. Now, the handwriting experts begin to analyze that ransom note, and no one was ever ruled out as its writer. I remember Carl Whiteside. I went back to my notes on Carl Whiteside, who was the head of the Colorado Bureau. And Whiteside won't comment on any of this. And so there's too many odd, bizarre things that a guy just kind of randomly sneaking into the house and doing all of that. Does it add up?